Hi there. Thank you for joining us for the 7th edition of Programmers Week. This year, we go beyond. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Bogdan Ciocanea, and I'm Product Delivery, a community lead at Cognizant Softvision, where I am in charge with overseeing the activity and the development of the Timișoara and Iași local communities. I am really excited to moderate the first product day we are holding and talk about product strategy, learning to say yes, the power of delegating, agile principles, and how to go above and beyond in agile project management. I encourage everyone to share your questions in the chat module, and me and the team will answer them accordingly as time allows. Without any further anticipation, let's get started. Today's opening talk is hosted by two ladies with exciting careers in product management. Ramona had a wonderful 15 years journey in software development world, evolving from developer towards business analysis and later on project and product management. Elena has over 15 years of experience in financial institutions and e-commerce. She started as a client account representative and evolved towards leading both operational and product teams. Today, they both use their product mindset and strategy skills to bring most value for our customers. Their talk today is focused on product strategy in transforming companies. Ramona, Elena, please take over.
Thank you, Bogdan. Elena, can you please share the slides?
Yes, let me know if you can see the slides.
Yeah, it's fine.
Super.
Then let's go. It's Monday morning. Everybody is waking up. Here is the agenda. I will start with the mindset. Let's begin. Okay. A mindset is defined as a series of self-perceptions or beliefs that determine behavior, outlook, and mental attitude of a person. In software development, we will talk about product mindset and project mindset. The project mindset focuses on planning, estimation, delivery, and output. In this case, product owners and the technical leads have a mindset that they know what they want and how to achieve it. It's a great approach to realize a set of activities over an agreed period of time to achieve a particular purpose. A project can offer the necessary focus and stimulate collaboration and teamwork towards realizing ambitious and appealing goals. Project means deliver on scope, time, and budget. If you do the right thing is a secondary thought. So we completely ignore everything that's happening around us. Our plan can be perfect, but if we ignore the market around us, we can fail. I will share a short example with Nokia. I believe that everyone years ago had a Nokia phone or at least had one in their hands. But if it's up now to see how many are still using Nokia, I can bet that nobody attending this meeting uses a Nokia phone. Okay, why? What happened? Well, Nokia did everything right. They delivered on scope, on time, on budget, but they did not look on the market. And when they come up with new Nokia phones, with new technologies, with new features, smartphones were already there and were preferred by the customers. That's project. Okay, product mindset. On the other hand, product mindset focuses on the outcome rather than the output. Outputs are the things that are produced, the feature, the software, the tangible stuff. Outcomes are the desired behavior changes in an audience for which we built these features. In the product mindset, focus is shift over goals and objectives. Proper KPIs are set. These are product KPIs, comparing with the other KPIs, the operational KPIs that are followed within a project mindset. Driven by a product mindset, you shift your attention on the customers, their needs, their pain points or desires. What is the minimum viable product we can ship is something that the product owner has in mind driven by the product mindset. It's important to think of the market. It's important to test whatever you ship out there in order to get fast feedback and adapt. Establishing this feedback loop market product, you're basically driving the iron triangle by changing the scope. Okay, now let's dive even deeper into the product management mindsets. Ken Sandy, former VP of Masterclass and Product Schools, in his book, The Influential Product Manager, describes a framework, the 4 product mindsets. And he says that there are 4 product mindsets that are based on key behaviors. They relate to each other and arise out of a combination of different thinking styles. On one extreme of the horizontal axis, you have the notion of imagining, which is about discovering new opportunities, explore multiple potential solutions, ignore the limitation that you or your company might face. On the other end of the scales is the concept of inspection, which is about looking into reality, assess performance, gather the data, and analyze the hidden insights. Crossing the horizontal axis, there's a vertical one that represents another spectrum of thinking. And we have divergent thinking, which is about broadening perspective, brainstorm, discover, share data, explore opportunities. Opposed to that, we have the convergent thinking, which means that you zoom in and focus on one idea at a time. According to Ken, product managers need to operate across these spectrums to be effective. And now we have the explorer, which is about exploring multiple solutions and being open to the ideas and creative thinking. Another product mindset is the analyst. This is where you deep dive into data to understand your customers and their unmet needs. Another product mindset is the challenger. Here, your job is to identify and mitigate the risk. You might be looking for flaws, hidden assumptions, biases. And the last one, the last product manager mindset is the evangelist, which is about building momentum and excitement around final goals. These guys deeply engage the team and the stakeholders on the idea that they chose to build as a product. There is a natural linear progression from one mindset to another following the product development life cycle. For example, you might start with the explorer, then you imagine all the possibility. Afterwards, move into the analyst mindset to gather the data and insight during the discovery. Then test your ideas into the challenger mindset before finally drumming up excitement in the evangelist mindset. So what I would like for you to take from this presentation is that product versus project mindset, and these 4 mindsets, product mindset, explorer, analyst, challenger, and evangelist, from which you need to jump in and out following the product development cycle. Okay, let's go on. Elena? Okay. Now we will talk about vision, how measuring the outcome can help you identify the vision and identity for your product. I took this example from BMC blog because I found it extremely useful and very well descriptive for output versus outcome example. To get the context right, let's start with a simple non-IT example. Out there in the picture is me and my family. It was my baby boy's birthday. He was 1. I went to the bakery to order a cake for the party. If I would ask the audience here, what is the outcome of this transaction? Most of you will say, well, it's obvious, it's in the picture, and the outcome is the cake, but that wouldn't be correct. The outcome would be a delighted birthday boy and a cake-filled happy family. The cake itself, it's an output provided by the bakery. Okay, in this business world, output are the things that are produced, and the features, the software, the tangibles, outcomes are the desired behavior changes in an audience for which we build these features. An easy way to think of this is that outcomes are the results and outputs are the activities that support the desired results. Delivering outputs, we achieve outcomes. It's very important to understand the difference between these notions, not only for clarity, but also because we need to measure this in order to properly adapt our delivery. Outputs are nearly always quantitative, so easy to report and validate. Outcomes are more challenging because they are more qualitative and quantitative, because whether we achieve that outcome is based on the perceptions, and you already know perceptions are not easy to measure, but it's an essential to find a way to do so. Okay, it's important to start with the end in mind, measure the outcome rather than the output, because if you measure an output, you will have a false sense of achievement and a false impression of progress. Identify the outcome will help you identify identity of your product and also the vision. Another key concept that I would like to present is how important it is to know your customers. Okay. So this is from, I will add here an example, and that will cover the key points of why it's important to know your customers. And one of the reason is that you need to know your customer to make the difference between a customer and an end user, in order to build for customers and not for stakeholders, and also to understand and build what customer want and is willing to pay for, and not something that they just can use from time to time. I will start with an example. It's Oral-B Pro Expert Pulsar Gum Care Toothbrush. So Oral-B designed and built a toothbrush with batteries that cannot be replaced, because they designed a solution that will solve Oral-B problems, but not their customer problem. So this toothbrush, it was amazing. They had an entire weeks of advertising. They built a web page for it. It was like the new generation of toothbrushes with innovative technology and so on. The disappointment of the customers was that they were not able to replace those batteries. And even if they expected good feedback and customer satisfaction, the fact that the customers were not able to replace the batteries bring to Oral-B a lot of bad and offensive reviews. So I use this example because as a product manager or a product owner, you need to understand your customer. You need to understand that you are solving the end user, the people that are taking your product and actually use. You are building for them. You are solving their problems and not a company's problem. What Oral-B did, they solved their financial problems, but the customers were far away from delighted. That's why it's very important to build what a customer really wants and needs, and not something that they can use from time to time. As a product owner, you need to be able to listen to customers to understand their problems, but don't listen to them when it comes about building solution. This is an example that I took from Dave Washa's speech at Mind the Product some years ago. Okay, and back, I still have one, Elena. Yeah, this is a lesson learned from my previous company. I used to be a product manager within a product company that is developing digital payment software solutions. My customers were the banks and the bank's representative. It was a great opportunity for me to do mistakes. One of the first lesson learned was that I was not able to touch the end user, people that were actually using the developed features. But I wasn't curious either. I had a very close connection with my customers, but I never was curious to hear about their end users. I used to talk with the bank representative, but I did not question them about, okay, do you have any surveys? Do you test your features on the market? Do you do anything to be closer to your customers? I never asked that. And I do believe, and I feel right now, that I missed the chance to innovate, to come up with something great, different, and remarkable. And the second mistake that I did, and a lesson learned, of course, I used to keep close connection with loyal and new customers and stop to meet the ones that stopped using our product or the ones that chose our competition. I'm sure I would have found pretty valuable information. Okay. So, yes, it's important for several reasons to know your customers. And okay, we talked about mindset. We talked about vision outcome. We talked about how important it is to know your customers. And now another key concept from my product management experience is that it's very important to know how to prioritize and how to say no from time to time. Because there comes a moment in any product manager's life when he or she needs to say no. If it is about the new features and prioritizations, it's good to use these metrics that I sketched here. Every feature from your roadmap or backlog can fit in one of these categories that if you divide them via impact and effort. And in order to make sure that your prioritization is good and solid, do these quick wins and major projects. Try to do as much as possible, plan for the major projects, and whenever you have a bit of time, do a quick win feature. Do also the fill-ins whenever there is an extra spare time, and sometimes you really need to do the thankless tasks. But in order to address this one, try to divide them in smaller pieces and reward yourself and your team whenever you achieve one of them. So we all said no. It's very important that whenever you say no to a customer or to a colleague or to somebody who asks you a favor, it's important to be assertive, firm, and polite. I can give here some examples. It's a great idea. Definitely, we want this feature in our backlog. So we could add it for the next quarter release, of course, if it's the case. Also, I like the idea. It's something nice to have, but as an end user, I don't feel I will be willing to pay for this functionality. So maybe we shall address it when we have a bit of spare time. Or, okay, it seems a great functionality that we should provide to our customers, but before to do any commitment, let me please discuss with my team first. Okay, so yes, sometimes we need to say no. Let's do a quick recap, and then Elena, you can continue. It's important to adjust your mindset. If you're a product manager or a product owner, make sure you grow a product mindset. Also, be aware to jump from one of the the 4 product mindsets, explorer, analyst, challenger, and evangelist, as you progress on the product life cycle. It's important to identify the outcomes and measure them properly. Listen to your customers to understand their problems, but don't listen to them when you build solutions. And be empathic and say no when you really need to do so. That is from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramona. Sorry for the small delays in switching off the slides. So I will take over from here, and I will slowly guide a little bit through the product management perspectives. So let's start with the basics. A product is, as you already know, the solution to an existing or foreseen problem, or an improvement to an already existing solution. Now, how do companies really operate? I stated in the previous slide that product idea is the solution to an identified product. Therefore, product management as an entity in a product company is deeply related to the long-term success of the product. It means that the internal product management teams are, or at least strive to be, super talented, successful, organized, and very well intentioned. Very well equipped in the process of creating and upgrading a product, identifying the actual problem and executing the idea into the real product is crucial. Missing a step in the process triggers the struggle in the product lifecycle. And trying to juggle multiple tasks and roles in the company could lead to missing one or several steps in the product lifecycle, from ideation to public release, maintenance up to sunset. This is the struggle that many businesses face, and specialized product experts definitely offer wide range of advantages. Now, how do transforming companies operate? Because we use this term, transforming, as what we do is not just consultancy and it's not just delivery. That might be referred to as outsourcing or even personal leasing. Transforming companies work alongside their clients in defining, discovering, assessing, and delivering a product. Now, what does collaboration look like? I have it here. So the trigger of a collaboration is a customer need. It can start from a vision, an idea, a goal, necessity to expand in terms of capability of market footprint, or even to reduce cost, time, operational risk. The trigger might be a problem that needs to be solved, or even market trends and needs that early adopters, competitors already took advantage of, which, if missed out, will impact the future of the company. Now, regardless how the request is shaped and formed, we are looking at analysis performed by subject matter experts, which are the company's business units and product management teams, following also team alignment and objectives and KPI definition. Now, in this schema put together here, I'm talking about the product ideation phase, which is the first circle. Many times, this product vision and strategy step is followed directly by the delivery step, when engineering teams come into the game. As most remarkable things, perfection is actually achieved by iteration, and adding product representative in the development process was actually, in the late years, the game changer. And this is the product discovery and results assessment phase. the second circle. What we start with as consultants, as product representatives in transforming companies is listening to the customers, listening to all stakeholders, listening and facilitating communication so that everyone in the interaction has had the opportunity to speak. The second thing, and very important, asking questions and obtaining answers until everyone in the interactions has had the time and to understand and is at the same level of understanding. Now, we don't just talk. We are using artifacts in our job, and in this important phase, the artifacts are customer interviews, story mapping, prototyping. Now, for a more visual description of this phase, and because I'm a girl of simple taste, imagine that we receive a diamond, but it's not the final version. It's recently retrieved from a mine. It is in a raw, unpolished stone, however, is full of potential. Now, diamond professionals use the grading system developed by GIA in the 1950s, which established the use for 4 important factors to describe and classify diamonds: clarity, color, cut, and carat weight. Translating this in product discovery and results assessment, we can look at the following. Clarity is the correct identification of the need, the why, and what will solve the problem by using idea funnels, product vision boards. The color is what will the result look like. Exercise with the customers and the stakeholders, paint done, by using wireframing and prototyping in order to make them understand and provide timely feedback. Cut is see product via all its facets. The more we discover, the more precious it will become. Define a product backlog using outcome mapping, decision tree, and action priority mapping. And the last, but not least, is actually the weight, the cost-benefit assessment and value stream mapping. This will result in timeline workflow or product roadmap delivery stages, as Ramona mentioned earlier, MVP, phase 1, phase 2, and onwards. Now, consultancy in product management is gaining popularity for sure, since organizations are outsourcing more related services. And by this, I'm referring to the end-to-end product delivery that includes project management, architecture, infrastructure, development, and QA. And having in-house product component in the development team adds clarity regarding business needs, speeds up the knowledge, and create a liaison between the development team and the customer's representative. In addition to this, consultancy in product management offers various other benefits, of course, and we'll get to those in a minute, if well done. Extremely important. So in short, it has offered success more often than not. Okay, very important question. Is product consultancy risk-free? No. But with a well-crafted collaboration and a slew of picks of consultancy providers can lead to fantastic outcomes. Just to mention some main concerns that, for example, I faced when being part of a product company and being myself a product representative, I put together 3 main risks or myths and a mitigating factor. Let's start with the first one. My product is niche and core to my idea. How can someone else understand what I developed? One would think. Well, seasoned experts at consultancy company have decades of experience and they are well versed in a variety of industry. So brainstorming on a product can actually go to and lead to exciting results. Another one is trusting an outsider. How can you rely on someone not associated with your company? Well, projects handled and success rates should be the guiding factor, and selection of an appropriate agency is done by analysis of their past history and client's portfolio, the due diligence part. And another one, consultancy is costly, not to mention that there might be hidden cost and unnecessary cost. Well, the array of benefits that the product consultancy offers versus the cost, it is definitely a proportion to grab for. Furthermore, a small avoidable mistake, which is done in-house, can end up with huge cost long-term. So an open discussion with no ambiguity will help. Moving forward, so Cognizant Softvision is a transforming company, and I am a product owner, member of the product strategy community. So when looking and discussing about benefits and perspectives, we must look from both sides, customers we work with and us as employees. Let's start with the companies that choose to partner with a product manager from our team. Now, first benefit that they have is focus and catalyst to growth. Now, every company has a limited amount of resources, and every manager out there has a limited of time and attention. Product consultancy can relieve businesses of their time-consuming and tiresome responsibilities. This results in allowing them to focus on the business as usual that must not be neglected for long-term growth. And also, product consultancy can assist company in shifting their attention away from non-core tasks and to work towards working with the benefits. Last but not least, product consultancy can as well support management in better defining their priorities. So while expansion is generally beneficial, a company may endure growing pains. Another benefit that companies look into and take advantage of is the fact that transforming companies stimulate innovation by adding fresh perspective. Now, the impact of product consultancy on economies and cultures around the world has been extraordinary. Consumers embrace the latest digital services, resulting from creative results and creating solutions. And this forces companies from startup to high-end institution to react quickly to the market needs and implement new organizational structures and working methods. In addition, an external expert is the first one to identify and correct flaws, transform challenges into opportunities, and propose improvements before the product is developed, before the product is released to the end user. This doesn't mean that the internal team's capabilities are limited. Don't understand me wrong. It relates only to the fact that they might be immersed in their day-to-day activities and neglect or fail to timely identify this. In-house product management could take weeks or months to find the proper personnel, train them, and of course, put them out there in the market. Another benefit here would be limited risk. Every company in every business venture entails some level of risk. Markets, competition, financial conditions, government restrictions, and technology investments all evolve at rapid pace. Creating a product partnership means also assuming and managing the risk alongside with the customer, and actually transforming companies are much better at selecting how to avoid risk because they do this with multiple other companies. Moving forward, another benefit is regarding the cost, of course, and it's cost effective and cost saving. Now, although cost cutting, maybe it's not the major reason for choosing a product management consultancy, it is an important consideration, and opting for product consultancy allows companies to transform fixed cost, employees' time dedicated to the product management, into variable, lower cost by freeing up capital to invest elsewhere and avoid large upfront cost. It is seen that the effective cost of consultancy is low as compared to the in-house hiring cost and the cost of maintaining and extending the product management team. So with highly experienced and seasoned outsourcing teams, business can expect cost overrun to be avoided. Another one, improved efficiency and time saving. Now, companies that maintain product management solely in internal teams incur significantly greater research and development times because the same people have to do it, as product discovery and development are performed in subsequent stages. This translates into delays and cost that must be passed on to the customer so that it is affordable to keep the business going and make it profitable. Now, working with an outside product structure gives the company a significant competitive advantage by leveraging cost while parallelizing the discovering and development activities. Product management in consultancy grants business vicinity accessibility to skills they'll need to see for their project to fruition. Hiring, onboarding, trading a staff with similar expertise and experience detracts from product development, I mentioned earlier, which could be detrimental if the company's strategy relies on being the first one in the industry. Issue resolution and management. This one is delicate. Now, an internal product management is responsible for coordinating two-way communication between the outsourced team and the internal departments, right? So they risk becoming a go-between rather than mapping and managing the product to the best of their abilities. When partnering with the transporting companies, businesses' internal operations are communicated directly with the external product manager who interacts with the product development team on a daily basis. As a result, there is no need for this middle phase. It can be only mapped together and the communication is clearer and faster. Access to technology. We are a transforming company in the digital world. So when it comes to the in-house services, infrastructure costs are another key to worry. It is possible that the in-house technology isn't up part to compete. Opting for product ownership alongside development functions is a good approach to take advantage of new technologies and outside expertise. The rationale behind this is that the transforming company has already invested in the technology required to provide the services that the business require, and its representatives have already been trained on how to work with it. And a second rationale is that it can offer access to a worldwide network of professionals with a wide range of skills that may not be available in the customer's area. Moving to the next, and one of my favorites, of course, is the access to technology and the talent pool. So when it comes to the right methodology for business scaling, because this is in today's market. So it's crucial to use the same strategy as the engineering knowledge while developing a product. If the customer's product and business representative is used to following a rigid process, they'll need a product manager, product owner, a product representative as part of their development team that is flexible enough to use the right methodology with them. With the present incarnation of all companies, it may appear to be a ludicrous idea to consider expanding a business. However, one of the few positive aspects of this pandemic was that it revealed people's resourcefulness to cope with the massive and abrupt changes brought up by the global crisis. Business owners learned to adapt and improve their procedures. And in spite of the fact that the economy was hit hard, many companies were able to survive, maintain the profit margin, and also grow by digitalization. That means to convert business processes over to use digital technologies instead of analog or offline systems such as paper and whiteboards. And one of the best tactics that can help and translate the physical business process into a digital one was demonstrated to be via accessing product experts as part of the development team. I'm going back to this slide because I mentioned at the beginning of my talk that it is very important for us to grab some benefits for us as employees as well. So, why for Ramona? Why for me? Why for everyone who's passionate about product management? Cognizant Softvision is the place to be. Let's see. I'm starting with an invitation to join us, and with the question that I asked myself before coming here. Why should I join Cognizant Softvision product strategy community? If you're wondering, just as I did, what is in store for you at Cognizant Softvision, we put together a snapshot of the benefits that are worth looking at. First of all, my favorite is the opportunity to work with industry stalwarts. It's like accessing a living library of product knowledge that actually talks back to you. Access to broad resources and latest technology. Hands-on exposure working with different Tier 1 companies. Unique specialization, higher monetary and ranking prerequisites, and personal development. The sense of fulfillment by doing something unique in various pillar industries. Now, all this wrapped together is leading us to the conclusion that product is not something that you do in a particular place. Product is everything around us, and the mindset that is built and watered and educated towards that will always expand and will always adapt to whatever the reality is bringing. I hope I didn't rush through the presentation and we still have some time for our Q&A session. Let me check the chat to see what we have here. So we have here what factor that
no, we don't have any questions yet.
Okay.
So
okay, probably this was an internal question for from our colleagues, but this should be a dialogue, and we learn from you, and just as much as we like to share with everyone else. So we are here, ready when you are, just to go through any open points that you might have or questions. Okay. Until we go to the questions, because we're still open for the question, feedback, as an ex-colleague and good friend of mine, Paul, says, is kindness. So if you like to give us a feedback, we will definitely appreciate your input. Just scan this QR code. I think our colleagues also shared it in the chat, a link to where you can tell us what do you think about this discussion, and if it helped, how, if it annoyed, why, if it can be changed so that you can, I don't know, see the connection, and if at least one of the ideas that Ramona and myself presented today touched you somewhere and you resonated with it, it means that you are in the right place, that we are also in that place with you, and it's a community that it's worth growing and expanding. Ramona, you want to add something here?
No, thank you, Elena. I think you covered everything.
Okay, guys.
good.
I think we can wrap up. Thanks, everyone, for attending.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Today.
Bye.